you'd like to talk about quantum physics of non-locality quantum entanglement, which gives the scientific validation of shamanic healing. I mean, we're going out on a limb here, but this is like we're talking like way out of here.
Yes, and I mean, my background for those of your audience that don't know anything about me, I mean, my background was obviously a corporate bitch. I was in the city as an economist in the UK for many years. I was then a financial journalist for many years. If you told me 10 years ago what I would be doing today, I'd have said it was absolutely delusional and lunatic. I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing now. But I then had some experiences which forced me to change my belief system. But my left brain, my intellectual, inquiring, journalistic brain really wanted to understand the rationale for what I was experiencing, which led me over time and many teachers and much reading to non-locality of quantum physics, which seems to be the start of the scientific underpinning of the fact that we are all somehow interconnected, entangled in a way that we don't quite fully understand. But quantum physics now does accept that this quantum entanglement exists. There's been experiment after experiment after experiment in the linear accelerators around the world that has demonstrated quantum entanglement. They still don't quite explain how, but it's a fact. And somehow it starts to be the science of non-locality, the fact that things at one place and time can impact things at a different place and time that are non-local, that starts to give the scientific underpinning for why what is sometimes called era 3 healings, which are outside normal space and time, actually do work.
Okay, so yeah, but you're talking way out. I mean, it's not exactly that close, really. Now, and I also believe what you're talking about with the actual entanglement, because everybody is, and we've been saying that for a long time, right here on the show, that everybody is connected to everybody else.
Absolutely, and every molecule, and somehow we can all access what in metaphysics was often called God, but in quantum physics is called the holographic universe. Psychoneuroimmunologists in the United States, people like Candace Pert, call it the info realm. Larry Dossey in the States calls it era 3 healing. Actually, the United States is a great place for some of the evidence and some of the leading age people, that are doing the science. Europe is really not as good at the science, actually, as the United States is proving to be. And there's some great institutes that are starting to build the mountains and mountains of evidence that this era 3 healing, as Dossey would call it, does actually work, which is the healing that is outside normal linear space and time.
And that has nothing to do with holistic medicine.
Yes, of course it does. But again, going back to the Dossey model, and I'm not sure how familiar some of your listeners are with it, but era 1 is the kind of drug-based pharmaceutical medicine. Mm-hmm. Era 2 is the psychoneuroimmunology, which is really now being accepted. People have to have their heads pretty deep stuck in the sand if they don't now accept that the body and the mind, the psyche and the physical body are not separate. So what used to be called perhaps placebos really do work. And that's one of the big issues, of course, for the pharmaceutical companies, is that placebos do work.
Yeah, that's too bad for them.
And that's really getting into the space of what we think can impact our health. The sort of traumas that happen to us emotionally can impact our physical health. Then era 3 is the further out stuff, which is the non-local stuff, which means that we can access past lives. It means that we can work with the ancestors. It means that we can accept that some of our illnesses and pains and malaises might be things that we are carrying on behalf of the ancestors. And that's where the shamans always worked, was in that space outside linear time, working with the ancestors, working with the past lives.
And all right, so if you're working as a shamanic healing person, Annette, what type of things do people come to you for you to work on?
A great many different problems, but two of the most common problems that people walk in my door with, the symptoms at least, are depression and stress.
That sounds like the whole world.
Well, unfortunately.
Doesn't it? I mean, it's terrible to say, but it's true, though, because, I mean, I hear that.
People. It's a great many people. So a lot of Western level 1 medicine is very good at dealing with symptoms, but a lot of the shamanic work is really trying to get to the cause. Because you can take antidepressants, for the rest of your life, and it might help with the symptoms, but if you're going to stop taking them, you have to get to the cause and deal with that. That cause may be earlier in this lifetime. It may be something that happened to you as a kid, or it may be something that happened to some of your ancestors that you're still carrying on their behalf, or it may be something that happened in the past life. So really the work I do is trying to get to cause rather than just symptoms.